This week we're looking at a question that's posed to Jesus, and we're looking at his answer. We're in John chapter 6, verses 28 and 29. We're going to take each verse separately. First up, verse 28 in the English from the ESV, and then we're going to look specifically at the question that is asked of Jesus. So let's take a look. Then they said to him, "What must we do to be doing the works of God?" All right, so let's get into the Koine. Ti poimen hina ergazometha ta erga tu theou. All right, so first up, T. T is what. Then we get a deliberative subjunctive verb, poiomen, or poiomen. I should put the accent over the omega where it belongs. Poiomen. What must we or should we do? Poieo is I do or I make. What should we do? But it's a present subjunctive. So like, what should we be doing? What are the things that we should be doing? Hina, in order that or so that. Ergazometha, another subjunctive in the present tense, so that we should be doing or working, right? Ergazometha, like ergometric, something that has to do with working, with ergonomics, the things that have to do with working, so that we should be working ta erga, the works, plural, tu theou, of God. So notice how action-oriented the question is. What should we be doing in order that or so that we should be working the works of God? So that we need to talk about this term, the works of God. The genitive here, of God, denotes either source, possession, or association. It's pretty likely that here it means works that are associated with God, or the works that God either requires or approves of, the things that God would have us be doing, the works that God would approve of us being engaged in. What should we be doing, they asked Jesus, in order that we might be working the works of God, the works that God would approve of? Before we go to verse 29, what kind of an answer do you think they're expecting? It sounds like they're expecting, the way they phrase the question, a task-based answer. This is what you must be doing in order to be working the works of God. This is to do the things that God expects of you, you should be doing these things, right? They're looking for a task-based answer because they asked a task-based question. Let us press on and go to verse 29. Jesus answered them, "This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he has sent." So let's dig into the Koine. Tuto, this. Estin, is. Very straightforward, very clean. This is. To ergon, this is really important. To ergon, the work, singular, tu theou, of God. This is the work of God. Remember, they asked about ta erga in the plural, the works, tu theou, of God. And Jesus responds with, this is the work, singular, of God. Very, very important. Hina, that, pistuete, you should believe, or you might believe, eis, in, hon apostelen, ekenos. Let's jump to ekenos at the end. That you should believe in ekenos, that one, jump back to on, whom, apostelen, he sent. So they want to know about doing the works of God. And Jesus said, this is the work of God, that you should believe, that you should trust or rely or depend upon that one whom he, meaning God, sent. So Pretty spectacular stuff. What should we do in order that we should work the works of God? And Jesus says the work singular of God, not the works plural, is that you should believe, that you should rely, that you should depend upon, that you should put your trust in the one that God has sent. In other words, in Him. Now let's talk about this notion of the work of God. This can either mean that there is only one work to be done, and that is belief, which is a perfectly legitimate way to look at this, or it can mean that this one thing is sort of the head of a class of actions, the typifying feature of a class of actions. And the idea being anything that qualifies would fall under or into the category of believing in the one that God has sent, right? So everything and anything that you do should be characterized and typified by the notion of belief in the one that He has sent. Not because not for the virtue of the work being done, but because of the character of it being rooted in a reliance and a trust in the one that God has sent. Pretty significant, pretty powerful stuff. So what is this defining work of God? The controlling feature is belief. The head of the category is belief in the one that God has sent. So they come with a question about tasks, right? What should we be doing on a regular basis so that we should be working the works, ta erga tu theou, of God, the works of God. And Jesus said, this is the work of God. This one thing, this one category, this core essence is the work that God would require of you, or that would be approved by God, and that is that you should believe in the one whom He has sent. Now, according to Jesus, according to John, that is the key element of the life for a person who is trying to be pleasing to God. It's up to you to go and sort out whether that is the one and only thing, or whether that is the category of things or the defining feature of things, and decide how you plan to apply that. The interesting thing is there's no direct parallel to this passage in any of the other Gospels. But particularly when we get to Paul, the idea that the work, the saving work of a Christian is to believe in Jesus Christ, and it's not about perfect law keeping or tithing or keeping kosher or even being merciful and just and kind. The single most important feature is this ultimate and utter reliance on the person that God has sent into the world, Jesus called the Christ, and His merits, virtues, and accomplishments. So do with that what you will. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, Charis Kairene Humene, grace and peace to you.